Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It has been a long time since I've done a video, and it's time to do another one. In the wake of the Paris attacks and Robert Deere in Colorado Springs and the Farooks, Mr. and Mrs. Farook in San Bernardino, there's been a lot of talk and speculation about America and gun violence. Yes, I'm putting in my 2 cents on gun violence and what's going on in the world, or at least America. When ISIS attacked Paris several weeks ago, Facebook went all French flag and stuff. And it was a horrible, horrible day. And terrorism wreaked havoc, killing hundreds or over 100, wounding several hundred more. And then we get Robert Deere. Robert Deere is a nutcase that was arrested and charged for domestic violence in South Carolina before he moved to Colorado. So how he got guns, I don't know. It's against federal law to own a gun if you've been convicted of a domestic violence offense, even as little as a second class or a class B misdemeanor. If you've ever been convicted of a domestic violence offense, you can't purchase firearms. So any firearm that Robert Deere had was illegal. He obtained it illegally, went against the law to get that gun, and committed a crime, a horrendous act of domestic terrorism, killing 3, wounding 9, including a cop. The man deserves the death penalty. He deserves to die for what he's done. But he's just a criminal. He's an American criminal, an American citizen criminal who lost his mind, who, well, as a member of the UAF, that's Unite Against Fascism, it is a socialist Marxist group who believes that abortion is genocide and that the federal government and the national government's doing absolutely nothing to fight this genocide. So he went and took matters into his own hands. That was wrong. It was completely wrong. But the left is getting extremely unhappy because we are not comparing the Farooks and Robert Deere the same. We are calling them different things. We are treating them differently. And they are different. Yes, Colorado Springs, Colorado was an act of terrorism. But what the Farooks did was an act of war. Farook, Mr. Farook, Saeed Farook, was an American citizen who was radicalized by his faith and religion. He went to Saudi Arabia. He went on pilgrimage, which is great. That's part of the Muslim faith. But while he was there, he met his wife, Mrs. Farook, who is not an American citizen, who came here on a K-1 visa, who entered our country with false pretenses. The background that she gave was false. Mr. and Mrs. Farook swore allegiance to ISIS. ISIS is not a socialist group. ISIS is not a Marxist group. ISIS is a Muslim group. A Muslim group that is upset, angry, and at war with the United States. So the Farooks, although yes, criminals, although yes, did commit an act of terrorism, killing a Christian Christmas celebration. The company had a Christmas banquet. I guess it got upset because he had to go do Christmas. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He found himself in league with ISIS, attached to ISIS, willing to kill for ISIS. He is a traitor and needs to be treated as such. I'm glad that he's dead. He deserves to die. but there is a major difference between Robert Deere and the Farooks. So, those are my 2 cents. Oh, well, I have another cent to give. We sit here and we're looking at, and everybody's screaming about gun control. The Farooks had assault weapons, which are illegal in California. The Farooks had high-capacity magazines, which are illegal in California. Farook was a government employee, so, which means he's been vetted, he's been checked, he's been searched by everybody. And he shouldn't have had the guns. He should not have been able to obtain these firearms in California. So he obtained them illegally as well. So if these people who are committing these atrocious acts of terrorism are obtaining their guns illegally, possessing them illegally, why is the left, President Obama, and a lot of other people so interested in destroying American freedom of the Second Amendment? Why are they so interested in ruining our lives, taking away our rights, taking away those things that belong to us as Americans? It's a foundation. When the Farooks killed everybody a few days ago, the BBC came out and said, well, this is just another day of gun violence in America. No, it wasn't. It was an act of terrorism. It was an ISIS-led act of terrorism. Not another day of gun violence in America. Another day of gun violence in America is the black-on-black crime in Chicago, or Detroit, or Washington, D.C., or New Orleans. Here's a fact for you. If you control for those 4 cities, Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., and New Orleans, the United States goes from number 1 in gun violence to number 172 in the world for gun violence. Okay. We've got a problem with 4 cities. Maybe we need to look at those 4 cities. We need to get things taken care of. Have a good day.